Stephen, had a half-fought draw, and from the position you were in on day one, are you pleased with that?
A little bit disappointed, if I'm honest. We got ourselves in a really good position. But yeah, to come out with a draw with one more point than them is slightly pleasing. But yeah, we're in a really good position. Unfortunately, Jimmy got injured as well, which made it a lot harder work. But yeah, I think all in all, it was a good game played by two good sides, and we lost about 50-60 overs to rain. So I think it was going to be tough to get a result on that wicket. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a good game for us.
The pitch flattened out a little bit yesterday and today?
Yeah, we felt it did. We thought it might spin a little bit more, but yeah, there was a little bit in it that first day, the first two sessions. I thought we got ourselves in a really good position and couldn't really capitalise on it, really. It did, like I said, didn't really help with Jimmy going down and only having two seamers and two spinners, really, but I thought the lads stuck at it really well. And there was patches of the game where we played really well as well. Shivnarine Chanderpaul had a brilliant innings, as usual, and Ryan McLaren down the order. But yeah, I just thought we were a little bit on and off during the game. Played some really good cricket and some spells where we could have been a lot better. You forced yourselves back into the game, didn't you? Because you were kind of boxed into a corner, I think, at one point at 60 for 4, something like that. But you came out fighting as you tend to do. Yeah, it was a really good effort from Shiv and Maka and the lads down the order. Put up a really good fight, and yeah, it was a little bit disappointing from where the position we had them in, around 160 for 6. And yeah, we felt that was a big area in the game where we could have capitalised a little bit more on. But yeah, it did flatten out, and we did lose Jimmy. Those are the facts. But yeah, it was nice to come out slightly on top point wise. But yeah, I think it was always going to be tough to get a result. We saw Jimmy come out and bat today. So can we take from that it's encouraging signs with regards to his groin injury? We hope so. Yeah, it's. I'm no medical professional myself, but he was walking. But yeah, I think we'll know more in the next couple of days, I think. Okay, and you've got a bit of a break now before you play Yorkshire again, don't you, at their place? So this break at a decent time. You've got one or two bodies that are, I'm sure, are a bit sore, and one or two injuries to try and get through. Yeah, I think it was a packed sort of one day sort of group. I think of 8 games, and they came thick and fast, and then a Roses game as well. So yeah, we've got a few bodies down in a minute, but yeah, it'd be good to have a few days off, and then some good Red Bull training as well. Are you like the idea of these back-to-back Roses games? Is that a good thing? I think that there's pros and against it, really. If you've got a couple of bodies down, you would like them to play in one of the fixtures. But yeah, it is what it is with the fixtures, really. It's I suppose it would be nice if we won that game and then to play them straight away. But yeah, all to play for at Headingley, really. And you're 4 games into the Championship season, and that's 3 draws and a win, isn't it? So how do you assess the start? I appreciate it's been broken up with the one-day stuff as well, but how do you assess the Championship season start? Yeah, I think it's been really good. There's been some really good positives, really. I think the first 2 games we drew, and for a lot of those games we were on top, which is a real plus point. I think the Somerset game was a really good game for us. We won as well, and this game as well. There was areas where we played really well. And there's a couple of areas where we switched off slightly, but all in all, I think we're on the positive side. We've done well so far. Yeah, you've actually fought back into games, haven't you? You played well at Essex. You mentioned you were behind at Surrey at one point, then came back well. Perhaps similar against Yorkshire. You played well against Somerset. So there's encouraging signs, I think. Definitely, yeah, and hopefully we can learn from those games and start from ball one. Like I said, we fought back really well from some tricky situations, and hopefully that Headingley game we can start from ball 1, session 1, and take it all the way through, really, and try and have that sort of perfect game of winning every session, really. We've sort of gone blow for blow with some teams, session by session, so it'd be nice, especially for me, if it was a good sort of 12-session win, really. It's a long old season, and runs will come, I'm sure, but I guess the top 4, I mean, Alex Davis had a couple of centuries, I appreciate that, but the consistent at the top 4, perhaps not quite got the volume of runs you're looking for just yet? Probably not, no. I thought it was similar in the one-day stuff as well. It's sort of maybe that sort of slow start that we've sort of working our way into games where we need to be a bit more ruthless. But yeah, Alex has been great at the top in the 4-day stuff. And yeah, I think myself included and the other batsmen, and want to put some big figures on the board and get that good start we need. And Villas and McLaren, your 2 new signings, and Chanderpaul likewise, have all contributed now, whether it's with bat or with ball, which must, as a captain, must please you no end. Yeah, brilliant, and for them as well, coming into a new side, you want to show what you can do straight away. I think we all know what Shiv's capable of. I think there's probably a lot of still doubters out there was was his age, and he's obviously proved them wrong. And and for Mac and Dane, coming into a new environment, you want to show the lads what you can do, and they've started brilliantly, and it's not just on the field as well, they contribute a lot off it as well.
Shift Chanderpaul's remarkable, isn't he?
Oh, he's amazing. I don't think he'll be moving as well and batting as well as I'm 42 or even half his age. But yeah, he's been brilliant for us, and sort of taken that role that we lost Alvy from last year, and just scored his runs, and that's especially from a captain's point of view and a team point of view, he's that rock we need, really.
We talk about the guy, a lot of experience, he must have a massive effect on a dressing room. What does it do for a dressing room when you've got someone like Chanderpaul who just does his thing and does it so efficiently and so superbly?
It gives you, it does calm you down. It gives you, like I said, that stability, especially in the middle order. And yeah, we know how well the lower to middle order have batted it all the way through in each comp this year. And like I said, the top order could be doing with a few more runs, but yeah, it's just his presence really to know he's in the side, and his experience and his off-field stuff as well. He just talking the game and using his experience and talking to others. It does calm people down and gives people confidence.